They're terrified that they're going to be replaced by AI. And it's not a crazy thing to worry about at all. My biggest thing I want to tell people is that you have two choices right now, where you are, wherever you are. You have two choices. You can drive the bus or you can be a passenger. And the people who stick around are the drivers. And how I pitched my boss on it was I said, hey, I think we can do 3 times the amount of content without compromising quality. And I want to show you how. And so I built a custom GPT. Google will prioritize you lower in search results if it detects that you have AI written content. Every software company has the same messaging, the same marketing, and their writing sounds absolutely identical. You want to be unique, you want to be special, you want to be strategic. I'm struggling with whether to tell people this or not because it sounds bad. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Better Engineering Management Podcast. And today we have Brianna Blacet joining us to discuss how content creators and content marketers can use AI to scale their content creation for sales and marketing without losing the human touch. Okay, Brianna, please welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Super nice to be here.
So, Brianna, can you briefly tell us like how you came into the world of AI and what kind of motivated you here? How are you
Yeah,
liking it?
absolutely. I mean, I would say the first thing is curiosity. Like, I'm very curious and it was great to play with. But here's what's happening in the world. A lot of content people right now are terrified. They're terrified that they're going to be replaced by AI. And it's not a crazy thing to worry about at all because a lot of people are being replaced by AI. And because there are so many AI content generators, I think people make the assumption that you can just replace writers and content people with AI. But what I've found out and what the market has found out is that's not actually true. The human in the loop is absolutely critical at this point in time because everyone can do AI content. So that's how I got into it, is
Okay,
understanding that I wanted to leverage AI for the workflow and to scale my work, but I didn't want to remove myself from the storytelling, from the writing, from the editing, because it's never as good as what I do. That sounded egotistical. I don't mean it that way, but yeah, it doesn't have a voice, it doesn't have a point of
right.
view. Yeah.
It doesn't have a past, it doesn't have feelings, right?
Yeah, no, feelings exactly. So you got to use your human empathy to do it. But I have been
Okay,
working on ways to do both at once. Like, why should we do everything manually? Like, I
right,
don't
right.
know about you or your audience, but I cannot tell you how many times I've been in a meeting and we've had to record it. And then they're like, okay, go away and write a blog. And I'm like,
Okay,
so now instead of like, I just take that video and I upload it to Notta, which is a pretty cool bot. And it
okay,
transcribes the whole video, pulls out action items, pulls out like the summary of the meeting, next steps, all those things. I can
right,
also have it pull out a story from it. Like, oh,
okay,
so why not start with a rough draft? That's how I think about it. It's
mhm,
a rough draft.
okay, okay. Interesting, very interesting. So Brianna, please tell us how can content creators and marketers how can they can utilize this power of AI to scale the quality and quantity of the content they are creating, and how can they embrace AI without kind of putting themselves out of the job?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's been a very interesting time, and it's especially an interesting time generationally because I feel like there's a couple generations of people, baby boomers, Gen Xers, that they're terrified. The AI sounds scary. AI sounds hard. So they back away from it. It sounds intimidating. But as you know, because you work in tech too, the moment that you get replaced is the moment you fall behind. You can never do that. So, what I've been working on are ways to scale content marketing. And what I mean by that is, for example, I might write an ebook, and then my boss might say to me, okay, now we need one for the Middle East. Now we need one for banking. And it's all the same piece with like a different intro and conclusion. Now, I could spend all day doing that, but I'm not really adding value. I've already written the ebook. I already know it's great, right? So, like, I can
Right.
put that in, I can upload that to Claude or ChatGPT and say, hey, write me, an intro for these countries in the Middle East, as well as a conclusion, go back to that. And then it'll give me the rough drafts and I can do that. And another thing, so my point is you can do more, you can be faster. Repurposing is a really great way to use AI. So it's really all about automating what you do so that you seem like the most productive, amazing, fast, responsive content marketer that you
Mm.
can be. And
Yes.
my biggest thing I want to tell people is that you have two choices right now, where you are, wherever you are. You have two choices. You can drive the bus or you can be a passenger. And the people who
Okay.
stick around are the drivers. And so I've realized that as a content marketer, in order to not be replaced by a robot, I need to be at the forefront leading AI driven content creation with human in the
Okay.
loop when you need to. So I believe that all content marketers better start playing with AI, understanding what they can do with AI, or they will be replaced. Just a
That's
fact.
very
They'll be replaced by someone who knows about AI and knows how to use it to scale content marketing, even
right.
if
Right.
they're not more technical. But it's that intimidation factor. So if you don't want to be replaced, just try it. Go to ChatGPT. You can speak to it like a human.
Okay.
Just, practice, see how that goes.
True. Literally, that's very true with that. If you don't kind of start riding this bus of AI, you will be left behind, and somebody who knows AI will replace you, obviously, because he will bring efficiency. He will be able to do much more than what you are doing. And as you mentioned, you are not always losing the human touch, but you are doing this more things in lesser time using AI, right? So why not try it? Maybe it will increase your value, right? Instead of kind of a get rid of all the fears and just do it, and maybe you will have more value added in the company where you're working or the
Big
clients
time.
which you're
It's about
serving.
scale, right? And I mean, I'm actually driving an AI content marketing initiative at work. And how I pitched my boss on it was I said, hey, I think we can do 3 times the amount of content without
Okay.
compromising quality. And I want to show you how. And so I built a
Nice.
custom GPT and I put in our company's messaging framework, our company's style guide, and gave it a whole lot of rules about things. So now,
Okay.
if I go to it, here's a great example of something to automate. I have to not just write, but I have to edit things from other people in my organization. I can
Mm,
take that piece, upload it to my GPT, and say, check
mm,
this for style guide compliance. And it will go through
okay.
and fix the product names. And our style means like there are spaces around M dashes or we use Oxford commas. It will go in there and format it. Now, there's not a writer in the world who puts their value as a writer on copy editing that way, sitting around and changing the bullets capitalization. That's not the place where you need to be. Like, let the robot do the crap work so that you can do what you're best at, which is understanding people and telling stories and being strategic and being an
Yes.
amazing writer, because no robot can be you.
Basically, what you're saying is there is a lot of work which is actually manual and doesn't really add any value, and it's not fun also to do that. Better let AI do all that things, and then you can focus on those things which are the meat of your work, right? Where you feel powerful, where you actually add human value, and in a way you are scaling if you're doing that, right? Very interesting.
Exactly,
Okay.
because I can do the work of 3 people. And I do, and I'm not tired because I have automated things. But it's not just for content, right? Like this is the same in every industry. The whole
Correct. Correct.
goal right now with where we are with AI, we're not at a place where we can just turn things over autonomously in many cases to AI. Like, I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm not getting into one of Elon's self-driving cars anytime soon.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think we're there. So it's like any place that you are sitting in your career, you're going
Right.
to want to automate the stuff you don't want to do and put your focus on the things that humans need to be
Matters.
involved with.
Right.
Like I say,
Correct.
strategy, emotion, even writing. Like they just can't write like you, content marketers.
Right.
They can't do it.
Right.
And also,
Right.
Google is starting to ding AI created content. And that's another issue. So when we say there's a swing, right? Whole bunch of people getting laid off and replaced by AI, 6 months later, they're all hiring them back because they realize, like, okay, this copy is crappy, it's generic. And then Google starts to ping it, like to ding you in search results. You don't rank as high
They
because they
can
want
use
that
AI,
person
but they cannot
value.
completely depend on AI. They cannot replace a human by AI.
Yes, but Google will prioritize you lower in search results if it detects that you
Okay.
have AI written content. So that's another thing. And I'm glad Google's on
Yeah.
that bandwagon because if you don't,
Mm.
here's what happens. Every software company has the same messaging, the same marketing, and their writing sounds absolutely identical. So Google
Right.
doesn't
Right.
want
Right.
that, and you sure don't want that if you're trying to build a brand. You want to be unique, you want to be special, you want to be strategic, and AI can't do that, but it can assist you with all of the stuff you wish that you didn't have to do at work, which is what I do now. I do not transcribe meetings ever. I have it write outlines for me. Why not? I'll give it a like a jumbled transcript of a meeting where five people are talking at once. Go ChatGPT, go through this, look at it, pull out the dominant themes, and make me an outline. And you can always fix your outline, but it takes so
Yeah.
much less time. And again,
Right.
that's not where I add value. It's just not.
Right.
So
So
humans have
taking
a
you
use.
from right, I mean taking you from that only, Priyana, you know, as you mentioned, right, Google is kind of sensing that this is written by AI and this is not written by AI. The same thing, what I feel is human beings also sense, right? When they go through a content, right? If it is completely generated by ChatGPT, we have this instinctive feel that this is not written by human. We always know somehow, right? So my question is like, how do we prevent content from, losing the human touch essentially? Because you see, sometimes content creators can overdo it, right? They can start using the AI way too much. How do they recognize where the boundary is that okay, this should be done by human beings, this should be done by AI? Let us not mix both of them, because then people will not feel interested in that. If they sense that this is AI generated content, they will simply not feel connected, right? So how do they draw the boundaries
Exactly.
where to stop?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is the question, right? And I think as an industry, we're all wrestling with that at the moment. Like, how much is too much? What is it that you should be doing? Um, And I mean, I'm struggling with whether to tell people this or not because it really it sounds bad. But there are content humanizers now where we'll go through and do. I know. I'm just like saying stuff that will put me out of a job. That
Okay.
they go through and look at the patterns that are typical for
Okay.
AI, and then they kind of vary
Uh,
it. But I will say this: I did that the other day with ChatGPT with my content. I call it my content accelerator. It's the GPT I created for my company, and I said, humanize this content because I have to check it in AI detectors and it gives you a
okay.
score, like Writer
Okay.
AI. They will score your
Okay.
content. I'm like, here's my content, ChatGPT. It says it looks like it's 80% written by humans and 20%
Okay.
by AI. Humanize
Okay.
this for me.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
watched what it did. I took its output and I went and put it back in the AI detector. It scored like 2% higher. I went back to
Okay.
ChatGPT. I said, "Yo, this is not human." That's what the AI director detector said. So like we went back and forth like three times, and then finally I'm like, "Screw it, I'm gonna do this myself." So of course I did it and did an edit. Right, I'm just tidying it up and adding my touches, and of course it scores 95% human content, which is high actually, because nothing's
Yeah.
some of our natural ways of writing are also going to be flagged as AI. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. And I would say often it depends on budget. So it's a
Right.
sad situation, but not everyone can afford a marketing department or a content marketing department. So if you can't, I think AI is great for you. But I always think you need to have that final tweak, that sparkle. It's the sparkle that you cannot produce with AI. Also, if you try writing with AI a lot, you'll see it repeating things over and over again. Like I tell my
Okay.
content accelerator, never use the word revolutionize and never use the word cybersecurity landscape because you see it
Okay.
repeated so much. So I'll give it a bunch of
Okay.
things not to say. It's
Right.
my
Right.
assistant.
Yeah, I think it's a good way of, and you have dropped a very good hint. Use the budget. If the budget is good, don't depend on AI. You add value on your own. If the budget is too less, like someone just wants to throw some content on the website and he doesn't care, probably use more AI to generate that content because you're not getting anything anyway. So
Sure.
maybe that's a good
Think of something
hint,
like a spec sheet. A spec
right?
sheet's a great thing to do with AI. And you can even have it suggest a layout. Like you've already got your specs. As a writer, believe me, I'm not going to win any awards for a spec sheet. Who cares? You need the information. Great use case for AI, Blogging, not a great use case for AI at all. Especially because if you want to be a thought leader, like wait till you
Mm,
see all these thought leaders just recycling AI
right.
content. Not going to happen. You need your first person perspective. You need your human empathy. So,
I think yeah, that's the thing. AI can never be a thought leader because AI is based on patterns of the past. Only a human being can be a thought leader, and he can only kind of empathize, right? So that somehow human beings will always connect with that. And when you're writing content, let's say, because I suffered it myself, and when I'm writing on LinkedIn or writing a YouTube description, right, I tried using some ChatGPT, but I didn't like it myself. So how can I expect my audience to kind of relate to it? Though the content was very well polished, all the keywords were
mhm.
there, as you mentioned, right? But also these kind of automated programs have the tendency to overdo those keywords and kind of be very repetitive because they are in the end just patterns, right? So generate the content using AI, maybe take some hints from it, but tweak it with your on your own and kind of add your value. Whatever you don't like yourself, don't expect others to like it, right? Kind of remove them, do some work. That way you will also be useful and kind of not get out of the
Aesthetic.
job, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but really, I think it's like it's up to content marketers to try to sense like where are we going with this? Where would we like to go with this? I'm also a
right.
co-editor of a publication called the AI Marketing Ethics Digest.
Okay.
And we talk
Okay.
all the time about responsible use of AI. And it's a
Right,
big
right,
deal, and there are a lot of ethics involved. So this is like a developing area. And if you're a
right,
content marketer, I suggest you go out, read everything, read about responsible AI, read about AI ethics, and just remember that you do add value. You're not just a copy generating machine. I mean, some of
right,
us are, but any good writer, any good content marketer is not. They're strategic, they're emotional,
right,
they're connecting with people. It's a person to person kind of thing. But yeah, do all your outlines with ChatGPT.
right. True.
Do your style guide
You know,
compliant. Do the dumb stuff.
right. One thing is like people like software engineers, right? And let's say product people also, they deal with a lot of technical content, right? So they are not scared of AI. But sometimes people from non-technical backgrounds like sales, branding, marketing, copywriting, right? They can be intimidated by the use by the very mention of advanced technologies, right? Because they have been doing things all by themselves using pen paper or on the editing software, right? So how do you suggest people from these areas give up their fears and warm up to the use of technologies like AI? What do you recommend they should get started with so that they can get lay off their fears and kind of start warming up to AI, and then they generate more confidence and be more
Yeah.
productive with AI tools?
So I'm going to actually recommend a tool that is not the tool that everyone uses all the time, but it's Anthropic's AI. It's Claude. And I am a
Okay,
huge fan of Claude. Like, I have found that there's amazing things I can do with it. Great example, as a writer, I often want to put my stuff up online in various platforms, might not be a blogging platform. I've used Claude to write code to help me do that. But the thing I love about Claude is it's friendlier than ChatGPT. So if you want to like wade into the shallow end, go to Claude, that's CLAUDE.ai, and just start
okay,
with something simple. Say um, something like, okay, I'm in cybersecurity again, right? What's the most nefarious breach that's happened in the last 10 years? Or
okay, okay.
ask it facts. Use it like you do Google. You know,
Right,
it's
right.
you can just look up things.
AI-based Googling.
So
Okay,
try some cool stuff. So like here's some stuff I've done with ChatGPT and Claude that would surprise the hell out of you. And this is something that you also go try. I went to
okay,
ChatGPT or Claude and I said, make me a 1,200 calorie a day meal plan for
Okay.
breakfast and lunch, and then make me meal prep instructions for the week, and then
Okay.
give me a shopping list for it.
Okay. Very
Boom.
interesting.
Okay. And then
Okay.
I went back and I'm like, oh, by the way, I can't digest dairy. And it'll go back and edit it again. And once you
Okay.
start doing this iterative back and forth, you'll start to see that, like, this is a dream come true, just like
Okay.
Google was. People were so afraid of the internet at first.
Right.
Like, I
Right.
started making websites when, like, the first year of the commercial internet. And people were like,
Okay.
"Oh, information superhighway. I'm so terrified. This sounds too technical." And it's like, no, it's not.
Right.
Open your minds. It's not hard. You don't have to learn code. They've made it friendly. It's a human friendly technology.
I think yeah, same thing is applicable in all the areas. When the moment you are in, for a person like me who was not very good cook, right? If you start trying making something right, once you touch those things, feel those things, automatically you develop a little bit of confidence, and then you may not become pro, but you know enough how to use it, right? So
Yeah.
you know
There
enough how
there's
to
also some guides that you can get, and in fact, I think it was on the ChatGPT website, they have a guide to prompt engineering. And for
right,
those of you who are not yet AI literate, prompt engineering is what is it that you're saying or typing to the bot that will give you back what you need? So like I just
right,
described, I want copy that does not have a bunch of cliches in it, right? So you need to ask for things in a specific way, especially if you want the best results. So I suggest going to ChatGPT's site, looking up prompt engineering guide, and see how those prompts are structured. Like one of the
right,
things that people are getting great results from, pardon me, is using a point of view or persona. So it's like, imagine that you are an IT director and your company has been breached twice and it's
okay,
cost you, reputational damage. What is it that's most important to you and how can I communicate that? Or give me, three paragraphs to express the importance of that. Like those
okay,
personas, asking it to take a point of view, that's a great prompt engineering tactic. So, but if you
okay,
just even type in prompt engineering in Google, you're going to get a bunch of stuff or most effective prompt engineering, most effective prompts. You'll get a list of
right,
them and then go try it out. Like it
right.
costs you nothing. You don't have to learn
Mm,
anything. It's as simple as like it, it greets you saying, "How can I help you today? What can I do for you?"
right. I think one great thing which is happening with technology is what maybe founders doing consciously or unconsciously. They are making technology very simple to use, so that you can kind of just go to a portal and type something and you will get the result as fast as that. So if there is any fear, I think people should give it up anyway because that founders, the creators of the softwares, right, they themselves want more and more adoption. So they are simplifying the use of it, simplifying the whole interaction. And so it's a good idea now to step up and do that adoption because they will get a lot of
And
value out of it, a lot of benefits out of it. Why be scared of it?
yeah, don't be left behind. And what you just
Right,
said, I think, is critical, which is this is a moment where we're democratizing
right,
technology. Like it is no longer the exclusive domain of people like you who actually know what they're doing.
right,
Like
right.
I can put
True,
together, I can write a page, CSS, Tailwind, CSS and React components, JavaScript. I don't even need to know what that is. And I can have
right,
it written for me. So that's like
right.
greatly democratizing content or rather technology for people. It's a great moment. You can do what you wanted to do without having to go through someone else.
I think everyone should start taking baby steps, and before they will know, they will become pro. Right, yeah,
But I
yeah.
guarantee
Uh,
you, and I encourage you to come back and tell Pradeep, if you do that, you're going to warm up to it. You will. I promise you. If not, send Pradeep an email and tell him his guest was
okay,
full of it.
sure, yeah. And one more question related to that is like, since I have been using some of the AI services, they can be pretty costly also at times, right? Because they are still new. People are trying different pricing. Someone is giving it cheap, someone is giving pretty pricey softwares also in the name of AI, right? Though it may not have so many AI features for all you know. But
Mhm.
what advice would you give to marketers or content creators? How can they control the cost of creating content when using AI-based services? So, right. So, how should they approach the budget for, let's say, AI-based services? How can they play and kind of play around with different services before finalizing which one to use, to not use? Any tips on that?
Are you are you talking about like paying like a monthly fee to
Yeah,
use
monthly
ChatGPT, like using
subscriptions
the
and all
pro
that. Because there are
version?
too many
Yeah,
services, right? And if
right.
you're not aware, you may end up paying too much, taking too many
Yeah,
services, and
yeah.
kind of
So go
the
try
cost
them
of
all.
production can go
They're
down.
all free. They're all free to just play around with. So I
Okay,
mean that's what I think how I got hooked on Claude versus ChatGPT. The way it interacted with me was far friendlier and far more human,
right.
as that might be, compared to ChatGPT. And like I found it easier to do that back and forth with Claude. You'll find out what works for you, but go try them all.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean,
that's a good
Google
idea
has
actually. Yeah.
Gemini. There's a Gemini
Mm,
app you can put on your phone. This is no different than ChatGPT. There's
okay.
Claude. There's DeepSeek. I haven't tried that one yet. ChatGPT. They're all out there. Go try them all. They're free. And then if you want to get serious and use them for work, tell your boss you need to pay $20 a month and do this.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Basically, all the services where AI is being given, right? They generally offer a free lookup plan, maybe let's say 1 week or depending upon how costly the service is. So it's a good idea to start trying that, and you can try multiple services before zeroing in on which one is working best for you. And then, as Brianna said, you can go to your boss and get a budget for that.
Yeah. Not to turn it around on you, but what's your favorite and how did you decide? I
So
know I'm
I
not the
have
interviewer, but I'm just curious.
no, I have used a couple of AI services because once I started this YouTube podcast, right? So I started Riverside FM app. So Riverside FM app kind of gives you a couple of things. You can generate these short clips, shorts, which you call, right, on YouTube. So I don't have to worry about taking this particular segment, that particular segment, and putting a caption on it. So it will generate it.
Mhm,
And the other thing is there is also an AI editor which it offers. So it will automatically remove all the pauses and all those things. Basic editing it will do. So
mhm.
those are the two ways I have used AI mostly. And other thing where I have used is ChatGPT. So what you can do is you can give a transcript to the ChatGPT and say, hey, generate a LinkedIn post for it, generate a YouTube description for it. But as I mentioned, I was
Excellent.
not very happy with it. I ended up tweaking it myself also. But you can generate a good lengthy article and get some kind of insight from it. Like you can get some bullet points out of it and use it. So
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 you
I
like
like AI.
ChatGPT the best. It
Yes,
sounds like you
ChatGPT
like
is
that.
also my
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Sounds good.
And I've not used many actually. I've used a couple of them only. So ChatGPT I have used. Then I had used one comes with WhatsApp. That was not so great at that time. Maybe it has improved now. So I don't.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out. I know
Yeah, on the
I'm
WhatsApp.
using every AI. There's
Okay,
also websites now that are giving you access to multiple AIs at once.
right.
I think, is one of them, POE. So it can leverage a whole bunch of different AI models. I tried to use it and became frustrated with it, but it's because
Okay,
I'm focused. I don't have time. I have a lot of
right,
content to
right.
make.
I
Take
think
this
we should just
ebook, turn it
wait
into
for a couple
a
of
blog.
yeah. What I was saying is, if you just wait for a couple of months, the own founders will themselves simplify it. Because if they see people struggling, they will wrap it up inside their own infra and come up with an interface which is even easier to use. So it's a win-win situation for us, the users. But yeah, as you mentioned, it can be frustrating when you are dealing with models and all these LLMs, trying to do all the things by yourself because it will have a lot of hardware requirements, lot of complexities, and maybe software engineers can manage it, but if you are a marketer or content creator, you don't want to kind of stress yourself way too
Exactly.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
content marketing. I mean, also, you don't need anything super advanced. Although this
right.
whole style guide compliance thing is harder than it
Okay.
sounds, but in general, it's just not that. It's not that deep. It's not that complicated. And the other thing is, in marketing, we templatize things a lot. So, like, take your favorite landing page template, give it some material, say, put this in my template for me.
Mm,
Easy. Yeah.
right. You see, one other important aspect of content creation is collaboration, right? Deep collaboration. How
Mm-hmm.
can AI help with the ownership and collaboration aspect of the content creation? Since you have been using it, do you think that it adds value or it kind of becomes a restriction there when want to collaborate with other content creators?
I'm not sure if it adds that well. Okay. So part of that we just talked about meetings and meeting transcripts. Meetings are collaboration, right? So instead of somebody taking notes, I don't know about you, but when I take notes in a meeting, I miss stuff. I'm not as present. So using a bot, and there's tons of them out there, right? There's Fathom. There's the one that Zoom has, AI companion. I love
Right,
Notta, Notta is awesome. Same with Otter AI. So there's tons of them out there where you can use that in your meeting for that. Also, it'll create meeting notes for you that you can just send out to your team afterwards. But I find when we're actually producing, the way it works, I think in reality, is that you're producing, usually as a content marketer, you're producing a draft. And then you send that draft around and everyone ruins it.
right.
Everyone messes up your great writing and you have to tidy it up
Okay.
again. So it hasn't really changed the collaboration process in that way. But it
Yeah,
has made it easier to edit my non-writer colleagues, I'll tell you that.
right,
And I don't get as mad at them. I'm like, I told you to use Oxford commas. We
right.
don't have that anymore. No problem.
Understand. So basically, it may not be adding too much value into collaboration, but it does help in the sense that in the meetings you can take notes and then use those notes. So indirectly, it is offering some add-on services which is actually helping you in collaboration and
Yeah.
saving
Although,
time. And yeah,
yes, I'm sorry, I talked over you. I just remembered ChatGPT now has projects. Have you used that yet?
no, I have not used.
So ChatGPT, you can do a project. So let's say I'm doing a project like I did at work, AI content accelerator. I can upload a whole bunch of documents to that project and they stay there. And ChatGPT can use it as context as well. But the great thing for collaboration is that you can give your teammates accounts and logins.
Okay,
So you
okay,
could come in and, add things to the project. Maybe you're updating documentation. We want to make sure everybody's using the right set of docs. Upload that to ChatGPT. So that's actually a good workflow collaboration, come to think of it.
okay, interesting. Okay. So that's very interesting, Brianna. I think I would last thing that I would like to ask you, though we have covered it in quite a breadth, that do you see there any imminent danger of people being replaced by AI in their job, particularly content marketers, or people do you think with whatever we have discussed, right, if they apply all these strategies, they would be safer for some time at least?
When you ask, is there imminent danger of us being
Yeah,
replaced by robots?
right.
I'm not a liar. Yes. Yes, there is.
There is.
And
Okay.
and that's not the only fear with with AI. I don't know if you remember this, but in about 2017, 2018, there was a whole group of tech leaders, and it included like Bill Gates. I think Elon Musk was in there somewhere too. There was founders of Google. They all got together and put out a piece on, should you be afraid of AI? I think the answer is yes. But I
Right.
also think as humans, what our job is to put in guardrails. So,
Okay.
and in a sense, using AI for content marketing is sort of like a guardrail too. Like they were talking about guardrails to stop, robot uprising or whatever, putting us in danger. Because I mean, think about it. Two robots could bring down our entire infrastructure, like our power grid and stuff. Is that dangerous? Yes. It can also create a lot of misinformation. Yes, all those
Right.
things. So putting in those guardrails is important, and put some guardrails on for yourself. Like, yes, if you do not hustle, you will be left behind. That's true with AI, it's true with everything. So, go get
Yeah.
some recipes from ChatGPT, try it out. Ask for what is a great birthday present for a teenager, make a meal plan. Ask it to
Okay.
suggest a workout plan. You can ask it for a workout plan too. Anything you want. So yes, you can be replaced, you can be left behind. But I have
That's
faith
right.
in all of you that you can do
Okay.
this. I believe in you.
Thank you, Prerna. You gave a very honest answer because, few days back I was watching some news and like maybe 2 years back where a lot of people from Hollywood, the post-production department, the graphics and all those guys were protesting against the use of AI that many of their jobs can be taken away by AI. Not only that, even the makeup artists, I think if I remember correctly, I don't know how it connects to AI, but all of them came to the streets and they did a march and I think it went for like more than a week or so. It was covered in the media a lot. So yes, the imminent danger is there that you can be replaced by AI. But as you said, put guardrails, protect yourself. Also have some faith in human beings. Maybe just because when there is a boom in some technology, right? There is a lot of kind of waves get created that is going to happen, that is going to happen. Nothing. I think if you are confident, you are hardworking, you are diligent, you will find a way to kind of ride on
I
the wave
agree.
instead of being driven by the wave,
Yes.
right?
And I mean, I think that the most important thing is something, you said to me before we started recording, which is that this is the human condition in every
Mm,
single era of humankind. I mean, think about it. The cavemen didn't have fire, and then boom, they had
right,
fire. That changed everything, right? Like,
right, right,
they didn't have a wheel at one point. The wheel changed everything. Did you put a bunch of
right,
people out of work that were carrying stones up the hill? Yes, you did. Does that mean you
right.
shouldn't have a wheel? No, it isn't. Like the human race will always move forward. We'll always be pushing for more. We'll always be discovering. So instead of resisting, open yourself up to new ways of working. Find your niche in this brave new world, and there is one for you. And don't complain to your boss about it because you'll end up fired.
Sure. Thank you, Priyanka. That was a great conversation. I mean, and since we discussed so many things in detail, right? So now it's not like something that we know just hazily. We know how it
Hmm.
happens in depth, how content marketing can utilize the powers of AI to scale. And thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me. You have a lot of great questions, and I absolutely love this topic. So maybe people will comment. Feel free to ask us things about AI,
Sure,
and we'll answer
sure,
you.
sure. Thank you. Yeah. So all the viewers, please feel free to comment and ask your questions. Share your email address. I will drop a link where we can kind of connect with you. And do subscribe to Better Engineering Management for many such amazing discussions lined up. Hope you will have great insights and you will learn something here. Thank you.
I agree. You're doing a great job. You have a good rest of your day, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.